First of all, thanks everyone for coming at short notice. On Saturday morning, the club issued an unreserved apology to the AFL and to the umpires department as a whole and the umpires involved in our game on Friday night. I'd like to add my personal unreserved apology for statements made in the post-game press conference. I was given information on the way into the post-game press conference that I believe to be matter of fact, not rumour or innuendo. Came from a trusted source, and as I said, I believed those comments to be matter of fact. I was then asked a direct question in the press conference, to which I answered openly and honestly. Now, clearly, 12 hours later, after an investigation by the club, that statement of fact had in fact turned out to be completely incorrect and lacked any factual basis. The club then issued the immediate apology to those parties involved, and I'm here today again to issue my own personal apology. Further to that, I also made another second mistake in airing those comments publicly when the correct channels would have been to speak to the AFL privately and keep this out of the public domain. So again, I issue a personal, public, unreserved apology for statements made on Friday night. Now, happy to take questions.
How long before the presser were you given this information?
Mark, it'd probably be within only a few minutes, but certainly enough time to process them. And I made a really terrible mistake by not fact-checking. I assumed those comments to be matter of fact, and I assumed that they were right. But ultimately, it's my responsibility to check those facts, and I didn't, and I chose to make the statements that I did. So the apportion of blame falls squarely on my shoulders, and I accept that responsibility. And this is not about anyone else. It's purely about me and the decision I made in the post-game press conference.
So do you feel embarrassed by it?
Yeah, there is certainly embarrassment, because I've taken the attention away from where our football club would like it, and that's off our players. And while we didn't get the win on Friday night, I thought the players' effort was fantastic, and this has certainly taken focus away from, I think, what was a very engaging game of football Friday night. So unfairly, the spotlight has come onto the club in a negative manner, but also the spotlight went onto the umpires completely unfairly, and in the process of saying what I did, their integrity was brought into question, and that's unacceptable. And the fact that I believe the information to be matter of fact is not an excuse, and I'm here to take full responsibility for that.
Is there a way you can reach out to those umpires? Excuse my ignorance, but can you contact them or offer an apology personally?
Well, I think this is the most public of apologies I can give, but I'm certainly not one to talk about umpiring decisions that are made. I mean, we accept that umpiring in our sport is probably the toughest sport to adjudicate in the world, and so mistakes are made. I can't think of a time in recent years where I've contacted the AFL to question umpiring decisions in isolation. But in my comments, it's brought their integrity into question, and hopefully that was only for a very short period of time, because we moved as soon as the facts became apparent to issue a very public and unreserved apology.
Did you have to have some stern conversations with any of the club officials? You said you thought that the comments were matter of fact. So are you disappointed with anyone at the club for passing on false information?
No, not at all, because it's not their responsibility they don't put words in my mouth. They pass on information that they feel is pertinent, and I'm charged with the responsibility of representing the club in the right way and for speaking on behalf of the club, and I take that responsibility really seriously. So Jamie McMillan's been unfairly brought into this matter, and let me tell you, this has absolutely nothing to do with Jamie McMillan. He's done absolutely nothing wrong, and has been, disappointing focus has been brought on him through my actions in the post-game press conference.
When do you expect an expectation of what sanction you will see?
No, that's not for me to talk about. I mean, I'm here to issue a public apology, and whatever the AFL feel is an appropriate sanction, then I'll accept.
Do you hope to have that
might be a
wrapped up?
suspension?
Again, that's not for me to comment on. I think that's a fair question to the AFL, but certainly not to me.
Hopefully wrapped up before the game this week, either way.
Well, I think that's up to the AFL in terms of their investigation and how long it takes them to go through their process. But we will certainly issue a timeline of events and an explanation for what was said, and they'll deal with it in
Are
due
you
course.
confident this won't have any distraction on the playing group ahead of what is a pretty pertinent game on Thursday night?
We've worked really hard to make sure that the focus is back to where it needs to be. Had a really in-depth discussion with the whole playing list, and again reiterated what we did well on Friday night, and as a club what we want to stand for. And we don't want to go off making comments that are unsubstantiated.
How do you feel Lindsay's being treated by the umpires on the field? Is he getting the rub of the green he deserves?
It's deja vu all over again, isn't it? Look, we accept as per our statement Saturday morning that there are no preconceived ideas about the way Lindsay plays, and the umpires make calls based on what they see and the information in front of them. As Mark Evans said over the weekend, you win some, you lose some. I mean, that's the game we play. Umpires will pay some for you and they'll pay some against you. And I have a pretty strong belief that it's not for us to break every one of those decisions down. It's for the umpires to do the best job they can and for the industry to support them.
Frustrating though for Hayden to come out today and admit that Lindsay should have earned the free kick.
No, look, I can tell you hand on my heart I wasn't disappointed on the night. I wasn't disappointed with any free kick for us or against us for that matter. I mean, we go in with, we're really passionate about this game and we're passionate about our team, but we're not here to cry and moan over every umpiring decision. So the fact that it wasn't paid, well, as I said, you win some, you lose some.
Brad, you said you'll cop whatever the AFL dish out. Are you worried at all that he might get a suspension? There has been that speculation.
Again, that's not for me to comment on. I think the AFL have got to make that decision, and I'm not going to try and influence that other than to answer any questions they have.
Have you answered those questions today? Have you had contact with the AFL?
Yeah, they've issued a please explain, and we've responded to that in kind. Excuse me.
Ask about some players ahead of Thursday night.
Sure.
Cunnington, Swallow and Waite. Are you expecting all three to play?
Due to the short turnaround, I think it'll be a tough ask for all of them to get up, especially with our policy right at the moment of not risking anyone who's not 100%. That being said, all three were pretty close to playing last Friday night, but they weren't at that level that we need them to be. So we'll assess them probably as late as Wednesday and then make a decision. But we've worked really hard to get off to a really good start to the year, and we're now in a position where we need to make sure whoever represents the club is 100% ready to go, and we've got the depth to do that.
Brad, well, Brad, you look pretty sore after the game. Is he in any doubt?
I think that just due to the turnaround, I think there's some doubt, but he's pulled up pretty well. So we're optimistic, but again, Wellesley falls into the same category as the three just mentioned.
Is there anyone else? It was a really bruising match. Is there anyone else you've got concerns about physically?
Yeah, Luke McDonald is the major concern there. It's pretty safe to say he definitely won't play this week. He's being assessed as we speak for something that we hope's not too serious, but it's serious enough for us to seek a surgical opinion. So, he's the most pressing concern right at the moment.
Is his season in doubt and perhaps hammy off the bone?
I'm not quite sure at that extent, but again, I made some comments earlier in this year about injuries and giving a prognosis, and what was clear from those comments is that I'm not a doctor. So I'll wait till we've got definitive answers for you there before I answer that question.
Brad, you spoke about how you don't want what happened on Friday night to influence the team. How are Lindsay and Jamie? Jamie's been unfairly dragged into this. How are those two blokes in the wake of it all?
No, Jamie McMillan is exactly what we want represented here at North Melbourne. He's in our leadership group. He's really he's got great strength of character. We've had extensive discussions, and just Jamie being the type of person he is, he feels for the umpires, and he feels for the club that the spotlight's on us for reasons other than we'd like. So he's responded really well. And Lindsay just continues to show great resilience. He's grown a lot over the last 5 years in particular, and he was terrific in our match review today, and I'm sure he'll be fine.
Just another quick one on Thursday. It's been said that this is a group over the last 3 weeks in particular that needs a scalp. Have you spoken about really needing to get one on Thursday night?
No, that's not the view we take. We're trying to beat every team that we play, but we've been very open in the fact that our short-term goal is to reach 12 wins as quickly as we can, and that's still our focus. I mean, who those wins come against for us are largely irrelevant, because we're just trying to first of all qualify for the right to play in September, and then to qualify in the best position we can. Because really who you beat in the lead up to September is irrelevant. It's who you beat in September that counts.
Is there a focus as well on bringing the same physicality that you did against Hawthorn?
Yes and no. I think there was a lot to like about the physical edge and the way the game was played, and I thought that at times when really good teams play against each other, there's potential for things to flare up a little bit. And we had a couple of free kicks off the ball, a couple of 50-metre penalties that cost us goals, and we were really disappointed in that. That being said, there were some great examples of physicality that we don't want to lose.